Okay, everybody, this is my spoiler review of The Boys Season 3 finale. There's a lot of stuff, though, in this finale that frustrated me and a lot of things that felt kind of glossed over. And one of the Boys' Achilles heel of a great show is that sometimes things get really conveniently solved and really fastly resolved, and they have an obsession with the show that, again, makes fun of other superhero properties. It feels very Marvel that everything kind of always comes together really neat and tight, and it's just like a full reset at the end of the seasons, which kind of can get annoying. And I started to notice this in this episode first when they're showing that this big live stream that Starlight did, not only did it say that Maeve was captured, so everyone wanted to save Maeve, which made sense. They addressed that. They totally glossed over the whole part about Supersonic and that Homelander confessed to killing him. So that is one of those things that is just, you know, it's not going to be addressed now. Like, that was it. That was their chance to do it, and they skipped it. That's the stuff that the Boys gets away with a little too much for my taste. The other thing is we see there's this one scene with A-Train that, honestly, in a way, it kind of came off a little corny. And you see that his brother's mad at him, that he's a murderer, and it's not the way he wanted him to handle Blue Hawk. And everything's just backfired for A-Train. But I've said this, that A-Train and the Deep, again, are characters that are past their expiration dates now. It just doesn't make sense to me that A-Train is the perfect way to go out in the Herogasm episode, and they've brought him back for some reason, and we're going to keep this going with A-Train and Deep kind of being, at this point, plot devices for Homelander, and it's just getting annoying. And what's also annoying is that Black Noir had some of the best stuff with his character happen last episode with the cartoons, and we finally got to know Black Noir. They made him such a fascinating character in that episode last week, and then they kill him the next episode, which, again, was a little bizarre and felt flat because of that. That's gonna feel flat when you put so much time in the last episode into his character and have him be completely useless in the finale. It just didn't feel right. And sure, it makes sense that Homelander would kill him because he feels like, obviously, Black Noir didn't tell him something. He feels lied to, and he does that. But I wish there was some sort of way to involve Black Noir more, where it's been set up the whole season for him to encounter Soldier Boy again. Very disappointing. Like, it feels like the writers of the finale just decided to let a lot of things go that were developed this season and not actually address them in a satisfying way. Almost like they maybe didn't agree with the way it was going and they made it their way. So we see that Butcher actually does right by Huey by knocking him out, preventing him from taking the V-24 instead of just telling him that it's fatal. But you see that Starlight gets her "I told you so" moment, and Huey finally wakes up that there is a part of being a hero like his father, where he seemed like a loser, but he was actually there for him at the end of the day. This is where Huey will have a turn of character again, and that he gets a nice moment, which did work with me with Starlight later on, where instead of taking the V-24 to save her, he just lifts her up literally by putting electricity on. I thought that was actually pretty good. But again, when I'm talking about why this finale frustrated me a lot is Huey makes this speech to the boys saying, you know, there is good deep down in Butcher. But one rally speech, and I'm supposed to believe that Mother's Milk, Kimiko, Frenchie, they're all on board now to work for Butcher again. This is where I got, again, very, very frustrated because the whole season is about them separating from Butcher. And now we're going to say, you know what? Huey made such a good speech. They're all back in now. And it's resetting back to what we see every season where the boys get back together again and they got to take someone down, which I'm going to get to about that final scene that, again, just is really disappointing. And then, again, uncharacteristically like the boys, this very convenient contrived writing where Butcher throws the boys in the safe once we realize Maeve has actually helping Butcher and Soldier Boy because they want to take out Homelander. And Butcher turns the power off so Starlight can't use her powers to get out, but she'll just push her way out anyway. That just felt silly. And now when we get these final showdowns happening, Homelander opens up to Soldier Boy, his father, saying that he feels alone, and Soldier Boy rejects Homelander's attempt to basically get Daddy's love and work together. And he even brings out Ryan and says, this is your grandson, and try to be family, and it doesn't work. You see Homelander's like, I'm you. And Soldier Boy says, I know you are a disappointment, so this is also Soldier Boy. Changing, I guess, a bit here and realizing all the stuff that is wrong about him in a sense, and that's why they had the scene with him talking to Butcher about his father and never living up to what his father wanted. But even this felt a little rushed of a turn for Soldier Boy. And I'm going to sound like a Reddit nerd here, and I don't like doing complaints like this, but there is an annoyance to me too that Maeve really just, besides losing her eye to Homelander, in big moments that are most important when they're fighting, Maeve just destroys Homelander. And it just seems like, how the hell did Maeve just kick so much butt to Homelander in this big moment. It just didn't feel believable with how we know how strong Homelander is. And then when Soldier Boy, they're about to take him out, and then it still is going to cause him to blow up anyway, why is Maeve the one who sacrifices herself in this moment? Because, one, it's insane that we see her blow up in Soldier Boy's arms and she survives it. I can't believe they did that without thinking they weren't going to get backlash for that, because that is completely unbelievable. And if you're deciding to just let someone live, why did you make it Maeve then? If you knew whoever that character was going to be to make the sacrifice, that they were just going to live anyway, why not have it be Mother's Milk, push him out the window? Anybody else that had more connection to Soldier Boy. Maeve and Soldier Boy had like literally zero connection, so just didn't make sense to me as an emotional beat. And again, this probably would have been great moment for Black Noir to probably even be there and be the one who just decides to take out Soldier Boy. And Ryan, this whole episode screws things up for people, right? And he even gets it in the beginning of the battle where we have a weird moment where Butcher and Homelander kind of work together against Soldier Boy because Butcher doesn't want Soldier Boy hurting Ryan. And then Ryan's the one really, he's the reason that Homelander doesn't just kill everybody after all this happening and goes with Homelander, which breaks Butcher's heart. So then we learn Butcher's got a year to live and how we're setting up the next season. That's going to be a big thing. Maeve loses her powers, but she's alive somehow. They say she's going to go Pirate Patch or Glass Eye. This is a direct reference to Thor in the Marvel films. And she's going to go somewhere Homelander won't find her. Great, but I just don't understand why they don't let certain characters die, where they kill Black Noir when his character is finally getting interesting, but other ones that, you know, Maeve, Deep, A-Train, they had great moments to kind of wrap their story, and they just won't get rid of them. I feel like there's not enough consequences in the show where, again, we all know they're all going to be okay at the end of the day is starting to happen with this show. It's like this reset effect. Also interesting though that Ashley saw Maeve is alive, so she deleted the footage, but can you really trust her at the end of the day knowing that information? I'm sure she'll tell Homelander. And we see Mallory has Soldier Boy, so we'll probably get more Soldier Boy for sure. And Deep's wife basically says to the public, you don't know Kevin, who he's really like, and you wouldn't like him if you did. And you see that while Deep is crying watching this, there's a picture of him and Homelander there, so I'm guessing they're going to use Deep as just, as he's always been, this sidekick going to impress Homelander and keep that going. And then Annie decides to get rid of the suit. They make her officially one of the boys, but this just didn't land for me as a big beat because she's been one of the boys since season 1. This isn't like this big revealing moment, so I was just a little like scratching my head. And the group now, all in this episode, is conveniently, thank God for Huey's amazing pep talk, they're all ready to work for Butcher again. And they do the very similar ending where Newman's going to be the threat again, which wasn't really fully addressed this season, so they just do it again, like, oh, we'll do it next season. And she's going to be vice president. So Butcher says, let's go get her. Again, this just feels like a reset, and now I feel like we're getting into repetitive territory with the boys. And that goes into Homelander and his son come down to the crazy fans, and this worries me because every time you involve kids in a show, it's dangerous, dangerous territory because it can just get a little cringeworthy, especially with this character of Ryan. I hope it doesn't focus too much on him next season. And we see that Homelander zaps this guy who throws a can at Ryan, but the twist is that a guy like Todd lifts this up and cheers us on, and then Homelander sees he actually has people who like this behavior, and they all go nuts for him. But like I said in my other reviews, I'm frustrated they didn't just kill Homelander in this finale, and a lot of people say you can't have the show without Homelander. That's fine, and that's a totally fair argument. I see the point, but the way they've written it now at this season, it just felt like it needed to end now. Like, I don't know if I can watch another season of Homelander just on the point of breaking and the looming threat of him killing everybody in his sight. This has happened now 3 seasons. How many shows do you know the same villain for 4 seasons in a row now? It's kind of getting redundant. I think this would have been the perfect climax for Homelander, and you know what? It just feels like what this season was setting up, the pace and the story moving forward, it just went back and reset again, and now it's going to be the boys after Newman and Homelander. This is what the beginning of this season was, so it's just going back to where we started. So really disappointing. It's not moving forward to me, and I don't know if I can just do another season of, as great as Antony Starr is and Homelander is as a character, I can't do it again, because then I just know, well, at the end of the season, they're almost going to get him, and we're going to start again, and he's even crazier, but he's not really going to do anything too impactful, so I don't know. So I really didn't like this episode. I'm actually giving this one a 7.2. This was my least favorite of the season to an otherwise great season. I still think season 3 is the best season, just above season 1, but with the weakest finale, in my opinion. Really, really shockingly disappointing episode to me, but I probably pissed a lot of people off with this video and that a lot of people don't agree, but I'd love to hear if you agree, disagree. I'm all for it. Let's just be civil about it. And I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. Please make sure to subscribe to one of my reviews. I'll be doing a bunch of TV reviews, movie reviews. I do celebrity reviews as well. If you really like what I do here, I appreciate a donation as well. You can become a member today. It'll help me so much, or a tip. And you can follow me at Steve Varley Show on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok for more of me. And I'll see you next time.